Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Drew here, coming back at you from the shed with another banger of a random ramble photography related video. And if this is your first time here, welcome. If you get something out of this, please consider liking the video and subscribing for clearly more high budget, high production value photography related content. And sorry for the delay in the upload schedule, but life happened. And by life, I mean a new book that I wanted to read dropped, and I read it. So, this Sunset on the Reaping, the backstory of Haymitch from the Hunger Games came out. Great book, 10/10 would recommend. And I'm a book nerd, so of course I just couldn't read that. I then also had to reread the entire Hunger Games trilogy afterwards. So I got delayed in making this, but that's okay. Today we're going to talk about at least the first part of a what I have planned to be a three-part series on why I left Fujifilm for Lumix. And since we're talking about Fuji, I feel like this video needs to be a little bit more artsy, so let me adjust the lights here. And welcome back. I hope you enjoy the new flashlight I got. It's amazing what it can do compared to the construction lamp I was using. Actually looks like a bit like a studio in here, especially with my secondary, fill light in the back there. It's nice. So anyway, mood is set. It's story time with Drew on why I left Fuji for Lumix, part one, and that is the Lumix Lab app. So prior to leaving the Fuji ecosystem for travel and hobby stuff, right, I've been using them for 3 or 4 years, more like 4, and the Fuji app sucks. I'll just say it right up front. I have almost never had a good experience with either of the two Fuji apps I used. Either the Fuji remote camera one, and then a year or two ago they dropped like the Fuji X app. It was supposed to be a lot better. And spoiler alert, it wasn't. So I started using those apps on my old Pixel 7, so fairly modern phone for back in the time period. And it would drop connection while transferring photos all the time. It was frustrating to the point where I was almost never comfortable selecting more than a couple of photos to transfer at a time. So I would, pick 2 or 3 and then transfer. And then if it was successful, I'd pick the next 2 or 3 and transfer them that way. If I did anything over like 5, it would almost always lose connection at some point, and it was frustrating. And if it did transfer stuff, speed was slow. It would take a long time, generally speaking, to get those photos out of my camera onto my phone using the Fuji app. And if you're like, well, Andy, that's why there's SD card readers or cables. And I agree, those things do exist. But if I'm traveling and I'm traveling light, I don't always want to pack those things. Or if we just got done on a hike and my wife is driving and we're using my phone for the GPS, it's plugged into my car. I can't take that, USB-C cable, plug it into the camera, and plug it into my phone so I can extract those photos and then send them to, my mom and dad or my siblings or on social media. It's just not always convenient to do. Um, and Fuji was great for those types of photos, right? I did like the film sims from Fuji, and those straight out of camera JPEGs and photos were more than enough for me to take right off the bat and send them to my friends, family, and for social media, generally speaking. Um, so yeah, it was just not a pleasurable experience. And then a couple of weeks ago, I tried the Lumix Lab app when I got the Lumix S9, and it was amazing. Like, it was actually probably the driving factor on why I decided to sell all my Fuji gear and stick with the Lumix S9 and the 2 lenses I got. Spoiler, I got a third lens that was on sale. The 50mm 1.8. Initial thoughts, it was great. I got it on sale for like $200. 10/10 would recommend. Yeah, 8 to 9 out of 10. It's great, especially for the price. Another video for another time. But using that, as I break my shed, using that app was amazing. The first couple of photos I took, when I was done, I set up the app. I linked my camera to my phone. It connected to the Wi-Fi like instantaneously. And the couple of photos I selected to transfer did it seamlessly. No connection issues right off the bat. It's like, okay, it's a nice change. Good, great, phenomenal. That evening, went to walk the dogs, took the camera with me, and instead of waiting to come back to transfer the photos, I turned on the auto transfer feature. And every single photo I took while out walking the dogs was already on my phone when I came back, hung up the leashes, and, looked through it all. It was there. I didn't have to transfer anything else. It kind of blew my mind, and I was like, wow, this is what a photography transfer app should be. But honestly, the Lumix Lab app is not just great for transferring photos, it is a editing, I'm not gonna say powerhouse, but it's got an editing suite in there that I really like to use. Generally speaking, the straight out of camera, LUTs, Fuji has their film sims, um, Lumix has their in-camera built-in LUTs, essentially the same thing, right? I can give different styles to the photos, different looks, different colors, blah, 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 blah. And I don't miss the film sims because of the LUTs that I have access to, that the community's built, or if I'm editing the photo in the Lumix Lab app, I can adjust, the exposure and the contrast and the shadows and the whites and the blacks and the blah, 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 blah. If I like that look, I can apply it to multiple different photos, or I can save it as a LUT, put it back in my camera, and use it when I'm going forward. And what's great is if I like the LUT I use on a couple of photos and I want to change it for other ones I've already taken, I can change it in the app. And it's great. And better yet, I can do that in the camera as well. I can change the LUT that was applied. I can stack LUTs on top of each other and adjust the transparency settings to get an even more unique look, to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm still going to keep Lightroom, but I kind of don't even need it on my mobile device these days. I love using this app so much that part of me has thought about selling my Sony gear. It's just the Sony 4 and a couple of lenses to just go all in on the Lumix ecosystem. They just dropped the S1R2 or whatever it is. It looks great. Because of how much I like using the Lumix Lab app. I know I'm not like full-blown professional, right? I just take pictures for friends, family, a couple of clients, of my dogs, of my wife. But I could literally see myself take photos for a client with the right LUTs applied, to come back to my car, look through them. They're already going to be transferred to my device. Change LUTs, do a couple of quick tweaks, apply them to all the photos, and already give my clients like a preview, or hey, which style do you like? And they're probably not even home yet. And when it comes to a quick turnaround in today's age, that is important, at least from the handful of experiences I have. And I can see this Lumix Lab app really being valuable to my workflows for stuff like that. So I don't actually know if I'm gonna do that, but it has crossed my mind multiple times that this app is great. I will give Sony credit. While their app is not great for editing photos, I have had zero issues transferring photos photos to my phone using the Sony app. So yeah, but it's crossed my mind. And when it came down to me deciding to keep the Lumix S9 and sell my Fuji gear, or just keep my Fuji gear, the experience I had with the Lumix app was the driving factor. There's more I'll cover in the other two videos coming up after this, but that's a good kind of stopping point for now. That is enough of a random ramble for this evening. If you liked the video, thank you for sticking around this long. Please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't done so already. And let me know down below your favorite camera app. Or if you've used a photo app that you hate, why did you hate it and why? And with that, have a good one. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Bye.